Hello and welcome to Select 10. Many action films feature plenty of fighting but limited chaos, while R-rated action films go beyond this limit and provide viewers with an incredible amount of raw, bloody action. This selection will include less widely recognized action-packed movies that you may not have seen, so don't expect classics like John Wick, Nobody, or other recognizable films, as many action movie fans are already familiar with and have watched them. Now let's start the video. Number 10. The Baytown Outlaws. It is a 2012 action comedy film directed by Barry Battles. The movie centers on the three brothers, Brick, Lincoln, and McQueen, who serve as the town sheriff's vigilante assassins. The action starts when the three take a contract to save a woman's son from her cruel ex-husband, a drug kingpin, but all of their efforts swiftly backfire when they find themselves targeted and have to flee while being hunted by assassin teams. As they try to bring the boy to safety, their little rescue operation turns into an all-out battle while they must fight to get past federal officials, hunters, and lethal killers who are pursuing them non-stop. The action scenes are ridiculously entertaining, with numerous gunfights and car pursuits. At the same time, the film has a lot of clever jokes and comedic scenes, and the humor is frequently dark and bitter. It may not be a revolutionary film, but it does live up to the hype and to the genre, offering lots of fun and mindless enjoyment. Number 9. Spencer Confidential. It is a 2020 crime action drama film directed by Peter Berg. The premise centers on Spencer, a former police officer who works with Hawk, his new shared room partner, to discover an organized crime among the Boston gang mafia. Everything begins with the deaths of two Boston police officers, following which Spencer and Hawk are dragged into the mayhem and forced to track criminals. The plot isn't particularly original, but the movie does have a nice balance of mystery, laughter, and action, and Wahlberg and Duke give excellent performances as the curious duo. Their connection is an important centerpiece of the film, as the way they interact and their companionship generate most of the story's fun factor. Fans of action comedies and crime thrillers will appreciate seeing this movie owing to its quick pacing, compelling performances, and solid action sequences. Number 8. Keanu. It is a 2016 action comedy film directed by Peter Atencio. The narrative centers on two friends named Rel and Clarence whose ordinary lives are abruptly turned upside down when a charming kitten named Keanu shows up at their home. Sadly, Keanu gets abducted by unidentified individuals a few days later, forcing Rel and Clarence to go off on a search to locate Keanu and bring him back. But when they discover Keanu under the skilled care of vicious mobster Cheddar, their straightforward search devolves into mayhem. Following that, they pretend to be criminals and venture into the perilous domain of violent gangs, relying alone on their bravery and cleverness to stay alive and retrieve the cat. The ridiculous idea of the movie highlights Key and Peele's comedic abilities and adds to the overall enjoyment of the film. The story succeeds in providing an enjoyable and amusing experience, and it is full of witty pop culture mentions, crazy dramatic action scenes, and humorous punchlines. Number 7. Violent Night. It is a 2022 Christmas action drama film directed by Tommy Wirkola. The plot centers on a group of mercenaries who break into the rich family's property on Christmas Eve and hold everybody captive in order to take all of their wealth. However, their carefully thought-out invasion is abruptly derailed when Santa Claus, an unanticipated fighter, shows up on the property, enters the house uninvited, and becomes engaged in a gory battle in an attempt to rescue the family member who believes Santa is real. The part of the story about the money theft has a twist, and it gradually becomes clear who planned it, as Santa starts pursuing the criminals one by one in the most vicious ways. The movie is quite exciting, full of gruesome action, and it's a bloody delight that's well worth seeing. Although the fights are spectacular, the story is somewhat simple, yet it contains a surprising element that keeps the audience interested throughout. Number 6. No Escape. It is a 2015 action thriller film directed by John Eric Dowdle. The plot revolves around an expat technician who gets stuck with his loved ones in a country amid an armed rebellion. The main story unfolds as they desperately seek ways to flee from a situation where foreigners are being murdered on sight and look for safety inside the embassy while desperately avoiding notice by the cruel revolutionary groups. The family's fight for life takes center stage in the movie instead of the rebellion context, and it does a great job of creating drama and holding viewers' attention while the family makes their way through a violent city. The action scenes are dramatic and further the plot of the movie, while Pierce Brosnan's role adds a thrilling dimension to the narrative. Overall, the film is filled with heart-pounding moments that provide a riveting portrait of a family dealing with challenging situations. It's a film that keeps audience interested with its story-driven action. Number 5. The Grey. It is a 2011 survival action thriller film directed by Joe Carnahan. The plot centers on a crew of oil workers who, after surviving an aircraft accident in the Alaskan desert, must fight off an army of aggressive wolves, as well as the environment, in order to stay alive. The plot centers on John Otway, who takes charge of the group and makes an effort to safeguard them from threats. The adventure begins when they find out that a group of wolves is encircling them, and Otway suggests that they go into the forest for safety. The film skillfully conveys the harsh beauty of the remote parts of Alaska and delivers a gripping and dramatic tale of survival that explores topics of death, human courage, and the desire to survive. It is packed with survival action pitting man against nature and animals. The best element of the story is the suspense that gradually increases as the protagonists face their respective fears and worries, in addition to the dangers posed by their surroundings. It's a terrifying and deeply moving film that provides an engaging and intense cinematic journey filled with amazing survival action and thrills. Number 4. Boss Level. It is a 2020 sci-fi action film directed by Joe Carnahan. One of the best low-budget sci-fi action films that deserves to be recognized. The story is about ex-military member Roy Pulver, who is caught in a temporal cycle where he keeps getting murdered on the day he was born. The plot unfolds as he repeatedly experiences the exact same day and is tasked with figuring out the person causing it and how to get away from it, while a group of killers and assassins try to prevent him from learning the truth. The movie takes a unique and enjoyable way of approaching the time loop idea, adding plenty of absurdity and spectacular action. Frank Grillo gives a thrilling performance, and the backing cast, which includes Mel Gibson and Naomi Watts, adds depth to the underlying story. The action segments feature a range of fight techniques and creative tactical elements that keep the audience interested as Roy navigates the time loop and faces off with a number of increasingly difficult enemies. Overall, the film is worth seeing because of its creative fusion of unique action and its intriguing time loop premise. Number 3. The Night Comes for Us. It is a 2018 action thriller film directed by Timo Giganto. If we rate this picture only on its action, it undoubtedly ranks among the top action films of all time. That's how savage and raw the action is in this film. The protagonist of the story is Ito, an old henchman who tries to shield Reina, a little child, from his previous criminal partners. The story explores Jakarta's mafia underground and depicts Ito's battle to go behind his deadly history while being hunted down by his own associates. The film's action-packed non-stop fight scenes are its main highlights, giving viewers an intense action-packed experience. The action is brutal and powerful, with a combination of gunfights, knife battles, and hand-to-hand fighting that feels natural and nasty. Overall, the film manages to be captivating and violent, putting viewers on the edge of their seats from beginning to end, especially for those who love raw, unrelenting brutality and precise combat sequences. If this isn't on your watch list yet, put it on there right now, you won't be disappointed. Number 2. The Good, the Bad, the Weird. It is a Western action film directed by Kim Ji-woon. The film is set in 1930s Manchuria under Japanese rule and chronicles the story of three major individuals: the good, a bounty collector; the bad, a deadly hitman; and the weird, a funny thief. The story begins when they discover a map that reveals the path to a buried treasure. Their quest for wealth sparks off a string of events that include spectacular shootouts, pursuits, and manipulations as they are being pursued by outlaws and the Japanese military. Throughout, the audience will remain interested and thrilled by the action scenes that offer unique stunts and gunplay. Also, the distinctive backgrounds and goals of each character provide good levels of drama and fun to the story. For those who enjoy sleek action and creative filmmaking, it is an absolute must-see. Overall, it is an adventurous and visually spectacular film that cleverly combines aspects of adventure, thrills, and combat. Number 1. Bullet Train. It is a 2022 action comedy film directed by David Leitch. The plot centers on a team of killers who get on a bullet train in Tokyo and have opposing objectives. But as the train moves near its intended destination, the killers' paths cross as they all appear to be seeking the same thing, resulting in an entertaining confusion that results in an extremely high-stakes game of cat and mouse full of surprises, lies, and violent action moments. Amid all the assassins, there is one unfortunate assassin by the name of Ladybug who is determined to carry out his new task, but he has no idea that it will put him on the wrong side of the dangerous gangs and against deadly opponents. High-octane action and characters' funny interactions combine to create a fascinating plot that takes viewers on an endless thrill ride filled with striking fights and heart-pounding action as the assassins go to tremendous lengths to obtain the thing they are after. It's a must-see for fans of action movies. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.